Isn't it amazing? This is the result, Nigel. You and I have never had it. It's called religious conversion. The Harry we have now is not the Harry we had then. This is not the Harry of the Invictus Games.
It's over. The royal saga that has gripped the world for years has reached a dramatic turning point. Respected royal historian Dr. David Starkey has just delivered the final, devastating verdict to Prince Harry, declaring in no uncertain terms that Harry has destroyed his own legacy. No more excuses, no more sympathy, just a brutal breakdown of how a prince became a punchline. The world has watched, sometimes in disbelief, as Harry's story has shifted from fairy tale to cautionary tale.
Nobody, of course, seems to know Latin anymore, least of all poor Harry. Does he actually know what Invictus means? Invictus means undefeated, not a victim. What he did with those soldiers, shot up, abused, terrible injuries, deformed, defaced, he gave them the courage not to be victims.
Fantastic.
To go to the gym, to do something, to take control of their lives, to do what you did after a plane crash. What has he done now? He's been persuaded of the doctrine of woke and the doctrine of mental health. God help him. And it's like a religious conversion. Every value that this man believed in before is stood on its head. He has betrayed his entire past, and what we have now, we've got two Harrys. It is very much like Shakespeare, except that they're totally unreconciled. And whereas Shakespeare's Prince Hal abandons his bad side for his good, he's abandoned his good side for this new bad, whinging, wailing, destructive. Do you know what? I think we need a stronger word than you've been using. This man is a traitor to everything that he has believed in, to his family, to the monarchy, to the country, to his grandmother, to his father. We see what the problem is with the new gospel, the new heresy of woke and of mental well-being. It's a gospel which is purely of the self.
What did Starkey say? And how did Harry go from national hero to international embarrassment? Let's unpack it all, right now. Because this isn't just about one man's fall from grace, it's about the unravelling of a royal myth. Dr. David Starkey is no stranger to royal controversy, but this time he's not holding back at all. In a fiery takedown, Starkey claimed Prince Harry's downfall was entirely self-inflicted. According to Starkey, Harry's wounds are not the result of palace politics or media pressure, but of his own choices. He says Harry had everything: global respect, royal privilege, a loving family, and a future that most could only dream of, but he threw it all away. His words is, Harry has made himself a tragic figure, but one of his own making. Starkey paints a picture of a man who, given every advantage, chose a path of self-destruction. According to Starkey, the moment Harry chose to walk away from royal life, not for peace but for profit and publicity, the clock started ticking. The world watched as Harry and Meghan traded royal duties for Hollywood deals and tell-all interviews. Instead of serving, Harry started selling his story to the highest bidder.
Discards every other obligation.
Duty, service, all these concepts are gone.
All the things that were so exemplified by the late Queen, and instead you have this vortex of self-absorption. But you know what, Nigel? What struck me about the whole thing was everything is so bloody petty. You look at it. We had a dispute about a tiara, a bridesmaid's dress. Do you know what? My bedroom was smaller than my brother's. Look at this list of absolute trivia, which is, on the scale of human wrong, they're not even molehills. They're barely specks of dust. And they're not transformed into mountains. They're transformed into mountain ranges, Himalayas, lunar structures. And the sheer, finally, silliness, the self-destructiveness. Do you know what? What I feel, I don't know what you feel, I feel contempt.
Yes, I have no sympathy whatsoever. I think we've directed much of our ire at Meghan over the course of the last couple of years. I think he really is the problem. It's he that's betrayed his family. And you're suggesting, David, that in more robust times, the Tower of London might have been suitable.
Well, in more robust times, it wouldn't have been knocked into a dog bowl. It would have been drowned in a butt of Malmsey wine. Which is but again, if you look at the House of York, it's exactly the same thing. It's a dispute between brothers.
The Oprah interview, the Netflix series, the memoir, each step took him further from the values he once represented. The public, once sympathetic, began to question his motives, and his reputation suffered with every revelation. The more he spoke out, the more isolated he became from the family and the country he once called home. Dr. Starkey argues Harry abandoned his duty. He ran from responsibility and now blames the Crown for his misery. And the worst part? The world watched it all unfold
And again, what's come out of all of this is a sort of simmering teenage resentment. We've suddenly got those fights on the back seat of the royal limousine, transformed, played in front of us, reenacted with added bitterness. And I do think, actually, I'm sorry, I do think, Meghan, when people convert, I've described this as a process of conversion, there is somebody who converts. There is no doubt it's she. She has acted as his priestess into this new, absurd Californian religion.
Yeah.
But what I think we should all be doing, we should be seeing what the risk of the Americanization, I mean, sorry, I know you're a bit of a Trumpy, but the terrible risk of the Americanization of British public life and thought. You're sucked into this. It's a veil of despond. It proclaims it makes you well. It makes you sick.
And feelings,
sick.
matter more than facts, and
Feelings,
all of these things.
My truth matters more than the truth.
No, I get that.
It's utter self-destruction.
So the question is, what should be done, if anything? We know that the palace have thus far maintained their own dignified silence, and Cameron Walker speculating maybe they should answer. The trouble is, if they answer 15 charges, 30 more will be laid at their door.
And they're all so trivial.
Yeah.
The point is, you get yourself into a dispute. There's a good principle of law, de minimis.
Yeah.
Don't dispute about nothing.
Yeah.
These are nothings. I think the silence is correct for the very simple reason nobody is destroying Harry more effectively than Harry.
That is true.
Every time he gives an interview, now, of course, he contradicts himself because the religious conversion isn't quite complete. And every so often, the honest old Harry pops up and says, but actually, me grandma weren't a terrible racist. I rather like Susan Hussey. And so the religious conversion isn't complete. There's still the perfectly decent, not very bright boy, a bit physical, who used to be sorted out by the army. And suddenly, do you know what?
Well,
he's married his mother.
Yeah.
Every misstep, every accusation, every tearful interview was broadcast for all to see. Dr. Starkey says what the palace won't. Prince Harry is finished as a royal. He claims Harry can't come back. Not after the Oprah betrayal, the Netflix doc and spare, the tell-all book that threw the monarchy under the bus. These weren't just missteps. They were acts of open rebellion against the very institution that made him who he was.
And he's lost the army as well,
And
because that was his second family, and I think they're disgusted, and we've got some distinguished army personnel coming on later on in this hour. David, he's fifth in line to the throne. He has trashed the country, the monarchy, the Commonwealth, his grandmother's great lasting achievement. Is it time for that position to be removed? Should he be sacked?
No, because it would give him more attention than he deserves. He will naturally just fade away. This is old soldiers, never used to die, they just fade away. Harry isn't as much an old soldier, he is perpetually declining in the order of succession. Why give them the satisfaction of the attention? Why? Do you know, the only way, again, can I just explain, the only way you can actually remove the title of Duke of Sussex is by an act of Parliament.
Yes.
Do we really want to go through that? This is, it is the proverbial sledgehammer for a walnut, for this tiny little ginger nuts, I'm afraid. I know this is a family show, but I mean, wouldn't we all actually like to crack the ginger nuts with a sledgehammer?
The trouble is the sledgehammer might miss the nut.
Well, it wouldn't if I were directing it.
Well,
But no, I don't think it's worth it. I think it would make a lot of us feel better, but it would be foolish. I think that for once, the palace is doing absolutely the right thing. It's letting him stew in his own juice.
Well,
and that juice will get bitterer, it will get hotter and more destructive to him.
In Starkey's words, he chose the path of destruction. Now he must walk it alone. And according to him, there's no turning back. The bridges have been burned and the royal doors are closed. Dr. David Starkey's words cut deep, but they echo a growing public sentiment. Prince Harry didn't just step down. He walked away from his birthright and took the royal family's trust with him. For many, the sense of betrayal is still raw. Do you agree with Starkey? Is Harry beyond saving? Or is there still time to undo the damage? Can a prince ever truly escape his past? Or is he forever defined by it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who still thinks Prince Harry is a victim. Let's keep the conversation going and see where the royal story leads next. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time with more royal revelations. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and remember, in the world of royalty, nothing is ever as it seems.